You guys some funny. We promise you something very special coming up right now. Right now, we got who's going to be at Goodnights tonight at 7:30 p.m. You don't want to miss it, but you get a chance to get a little taste of the guy right now. The one and only Will Abeles joining us. How you doing, Will?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
Man, welcome, brother.
Welcome to the show. Thank
you.
So a lot of people probably say, Will Abeles, do I know that guy?
Everyone's saying that.
Who is that? Like, who is that? Tell people a little bit about Will and what they can expect when they come out to see you tonight, because I know they're coming.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, because that's just the most true thing. Where I was like, I guess I'll see it. I don't know. No, so I've been doing comedy for a long time. I started in Boston when I was in college at Emerson College back when I was 19, which was just a couple years ago. And but I've been doing it a long time. I was in New York for 9 years. I've been in Nashville for 5. Been doing the road for about 8. And yeah, I mean, I'm really excited to do Goodnights tonight. Not only because it's pretty nationally known club, but I kind of earned it by coming to Raleigh over the last 5 or 6 years and just sort of getting my name out there in the Raleigh scene. And I've been doing a good job, I guess. And then eventually Goodnights, caught wind of me, and so this was cool because it wasn't booked because I was like a viral sensation on YouTube or anything like that. But yeah, I do a lot of storytelling. Talk about my parents, talk about my upbringing, talk about living in Nashville versus living in New York. And, I talk about some current affairs and that kind of stuff, but I try and make it funny and I try and make it fun.
Oh, man. We're having a great time right now with Will Abeles, who's definitely going to be at Goodnights tonight. And he's obviously has a podcast, bi-weekly podcast about My Funny Friends. I want to hear more about that. But what I really want to hear about is you worked such shows as Jimmy Kimmel, The Late Show with David Letterman. Miss Universe. Talk to me about that.
Everyone always wants to...
That's the one he was picking.
No, that's so funny. yeah. Everyone always wants to hear about Miss Universe. So like as I've done the Oscars and the Emmys, and everyone's like, tell me about Miss Universe.
Yeah. I didn't get to that.
Yeah. So the way I got in with them, so I used to work in TV production back in New York, and I was working in live shows. The first show I worked on was The Sound of Music Live with Carrie Underwood. I don't know if you remember that. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to work on, and man, did the internet destroy it. they were not kind. But that led to working with one of the directors. He brought me to the Oscars, and then I just worked in live TV for a while. And I met all these people, and as I got out of that and got back into stand-up, those people are now higher up in the business. They're production managers, producers, that kind of thing. So for 2020, I was back in Maryland for 9 months, and one of my former PA buddies is now a production manager, and he calls me. He's like, hey, I just got my first PM job on Miss USA. Do you want to come work in a bubble in Memphis for 3 weeks? And I was like, yes, I'm sitting in my parents' kitchen right now, of course. So we went, we did that show, and that went well. And back then, Miss Universe used to also own Miss USA. That was all the same bubble. They sold Miss USA, but they kept Miss Universe. And then I worked with them for the first time in Fort Lauderdale back in 2021. And then that led to working with them in New Orleans in 2022, I think. And then 2023, they brought me to El Salvador, and I worked on Miss Universe there. And that was really cool because internationally, Miss Universe is a massive, massive deal. Like in South America and Southeast Asia. Yeah. I mean, they're like the Kardashians. So when we were in El Salvador, we were treated like gods. I mean, it was wild. Yeah. Just walk around with my pass. Yeah. I mean,
hey, look at this.
Oh, I never took it off. Yeah. But yeah, it's a really cool experience. All the women that work on it it's interesting because they're not just beauty pageant contestants. Some of them, they're like lawyers and entrepreneurs, they own like a horse farm somewhere. It's a really interesting experience, and just to get to meet all these people from all over the world, it's pretty cool.
That's cool stuff.
That's awesome. We're talking to funny man, comedian Will Abeles, who will be at Charlie Goodnights on tonight. So when you reflect on all your experiences, you've been on the road, you've been doing a lot of different things, but when did you first know that this was more than just a hobby and part of your purpose?
I mean, the first time I did it, I got kind of convinced in college. My roommate was like, you should try this out. He was a Jamaican guy named Blaze, and he saw a little sign, and my nickname was McLovin back then. Okay. Because the movie Superbad was very popular.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I get it.
Yeah. He didn't have to say that, but all right. Didn't have to tap on that button.
That's right.
But I tried it. It didn't go great, but I started telling a story at the end, and the story went really well. So I did it a second time, and that went great, and I was kind of addicted to it immediately. But it wasn't until I got to New York, and I quit for 2 years, and when I got back into it, that's when I was like, oh, I didn't realize how much I missed this. And then especially doing the road, and the shows are always great, but the interactions I have with people when I get off stage, that was when I sort of kind of realized like, oh, this might be kind of my purpose to do this. Because it's, you don't know who you're going to have in the audience. Right. And I perform everywhere. Like I've done Johnson City, Tennessee, which is a market that I didn't think I would do well in. And I crushed, and I was like, yeah, and I was like, I didn't see that coming at all. And
I've been to Johnson City.
That's two of us.
Yeah. I did not see that coming. Okay.
But then a guy came up and talked to me afterwards, and he told me how much it meant for me to do this. And, I'm not going to go too deep in the story, but, he was a veteran, and he was like, I haven't laughed in so long. And, and just little moments like that where it was the interactions I have after the shows, those are so important to me and interesting.
Oh, cool beans.
Wow.
Cool beans.
So I always ask this question. I like to ask this question. So what's outside of that experience? What's probably been the oddest experience that you've had doing comedy or touring or being around? What's been the
most of them I can't say on the radio. I don't think.
That's normally what they say.
That's normally what they say.
But we had people talk about they've had their guardian angel follow them around.
That was Darius Rucker.
Darius Rucker for guardian angel following around. We've had people, with people stalking them, impersonators. I've heard all the stories.
Well, luckily I've never had anything like that because that'd be a lot.
Yeah, quite a bit.
No, I get pretty lucky, and most of the experiences I have are just fun.
Yeah.
And you just I really don't have anything too crazy that like I had to walk away and go, okay, you put yourself in a pretty tough situation there. Let's not do that again. I get that more with when I'm driving for like Lyft or Uber than I do with doing comedy.
What's the strangest thing that happened to you as driving Lyft?
The top two.
Outside what you told us earlier about Jack Nicholson's girlfriend.
Yeah. I mean, that was pretty interesting. Having Jack Nicholson's girlfriend in the car at 7:30 in the morning, and just like, what are you doing in Nashville? Like, what's going on? Yeah. I think it was like my first like 2 weeks of driving for Uber, and I went to. It was like it wasn't too late, but it was late enough, and I was like, gosh, I don't know. People are going to be pretty drunk. I don't know if I want to keep driving. And I went to pick up this guy. And I thought he was just wrapping up a party, but it turns out more than that was happening. And he had just gotten in a fight, and someone punched him in the face, and the bone was coming out of his face, right? And I was like, oh my God, man, do you want me to take you to the hospital? He's like, no, you're taking me home. I'm getting my gun. I'm coming back and killing this guy.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, all right, 12 more minutes. 12 more minutes. Wow. Yeah. And he was just,
that's right.
Yeah. And he was just going on this rant for like 12. He wasn't making any sense. He was drunk. He was high. He was concussed.
Yeah, you just slow down there and say, look, maybe by the time he gets home, he'd be asleep.
No, he was picking up. And then we get to his place. He jumps out of the car. He holds the door and he pees right outside the car.
Oh, my goodness.
And I was like, man, come on. I got to go. And then he was like, all right, one more offer. I'll give you $40,000 if you take me back, and me and my brother can kill this guy. And I was like, no. And he goes, man, you're just so practical. And then he walked away, and I was like,
are you kidding me?
Yeah. And I picked up one more ride just to have an excuse to leave. And it was like this really old guy just getting off work at like 1 a.m. And he gets in, and I was like, how's your day? He was like, man, today was tough. And I was like, yeah, same. Tough day all around.
I just gave him $40,000.
Yeah. My day.
But this would have been the easiest murder to figure out of all time. I drive a green Subaru, and I'm being tracked by Uber. So Uber would have just been like, yeah, this guy did it.
And this guy drove him here, then he drove him back.
Yeah.
Did you share your stories during your routine? You share.
I try and
share
talk
that
about.
One. That's some good one.
Yeah. Lyft is always an interesting one because I've tried to talk about it, but I think everyone that's ever used Lyft or Uber or any rideshare, we all have our own crazy stories, right? And I think it's kind of like, even it might almost be too relatable, where people are all like, yeah, no, I've been there before. You've been almost a part of a murder? You've been a part of a murder? Okay.
But the $40,000, though, I'm like, I would have thought about it.
Oh, I mean, look.
I'd have just
I
drove
didn't know
around
I
the
was
circle.
taking him. He told me to take him here. This is my job.
I swear, I'd have drove around to. He said, "This is not it." No, I'm telling you, man, this is exactly where I picked you up.
Yeah, get the money up front.
Get out.
Try and pull some Fast and Furious, get him to fall out and just drive away.
Man. We got to take a break, man. Will, I tell you what, man, you guys make sure you go check him out.
Yes, sir.
Tonight at Goodnights, 7:30 p.m. Go ahead and get your tickets. You won't be disappointed. When we get off air, before you leave, I got to ask you the do's and don'ts of riding Uber or Lyft in the back. Like, Like, am I supposed to talk to you? Do I not?
Oh, I leave it up to you.
Yeah?
I leave it up to you.
Not?
Yeah, I gauge it. I always just like, oh, how's your day? And if someone just goes, fine, and then puts their headphones on, I'm like, all right, we're not talking. but some people, I mean, it's a bit of therapy for them. You know, they want to just kind of vent about what just happened to them.
Yeah.
I mean, some people are genuinely insane, but like, you know, but for the most part, people just want to get their day off their chest to a stranger and walk away from it.
I'm always concerned about the overshare. You know?
I love the overshare.
You like the overshare?
Yeah. I mean, when like I've had some couples, like I had this couple, they were in their 50s, two of them hammered, and I pick them up on Broadway, and I knew that it was going to be trouble because I saw the guy picking up a little person, like he was like hugging a little person and picking him up, and I was like, this is not going to be great. And then these two couples get in, and they just told me all about their sex life. I knew every detail about it in the 10-minute ride, and it was like, now that overshare, I was like, I didn't need to know. I didn't need to know.
That is right there.
When you got more stuff that you need to know, make sure you guys check them out. Man, we see you guys on the other side. Let's
exactly.
go.